suspend IFIOC, not to talk about referring Otom to the National Electoral Committee. Otom will not appear before the so-called Electoral Committee. And let me say clearly to Ayuf, he is the mother of the fight of political war. You cannot cage for any of us. Otom will not appear before your so-called Electoral Committee. IFIOC, you cannot suspend him.
Governor Wike also said the national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu, should be suspended for refusing to obey the constitution of the party on zoning of political positions.
If there's any suspension, it should be you who played anti-party by refusing to obey the constitution of the party of zoning of political offices as is required. So whoever tells you can, please tell the person that it's not serious. So I want to let the world know. No member of G5. If you like to that you refer to fight with anybody, you cannot fight with anybody. You don't have what it takes. You've lost everything. We who love this party, who are doing this party, everything requires to be alive today are those to speak for this party. So if you're talking about anti-party, it is you who could not even deliver your unit, deliver your war.
As you may know, the NWC of the PDP suspended former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose, former Senate President Pius Ayim, Professor Dennis Ityavia, Aslam Aliyu, and referred Governor Autumn to the National Disciplinary Committee over allegations of anti-party activities. In the meantime, former Governor of Ekiti State Ayodele Fayose has reacted to his suspension by the PDP. In a statement through his media aide Lere Olayinka, Fayose described the suspension by the Senator Iyorchia Ayu-led National Working Committee as the last kick of a dead horse, saying he will work with others to revive the party. Also reacting, Autumn said the PDP National Working Committee is acting in contempt of a subsisting court order by referring him to the disciplinary committee of the party for alleged anti-party activities. In another development, the president-elect Bola Tinubu has denied holding any secret meeting with the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, in London in order to carry the favor of the judiciary as his opponents battle to nullify his mandate. In a statement signed by the Director, Media and Publicity of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Bayo Onanuga, Mr. Tinubu said he is currently in France and could not have also been in London holding the said meeting. The chief spokesperson of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, has petitioned the state security services demanding the arrest and prosecution of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, and his running mate, Dati Baba Ahmed. In the petition addressed to the Director General of the DSS, Mr. Keyamo accused Mr. Obi and Mr. Ahmed Dati of incendiary comments and claims about INEC's declaration of the president-elect. But Diron Onifade, the head of the Obi Dati media office, described the call by Keyamo as a joke no Nigerian should take seriously. Moving on, a security expert, Dieli Aigbe, is calling for compensation to families of those killed during the governorship and state assembly elections in Rivers State. Dr. Aigbe gave the advice while analyzing how governments at all levels responded to issues of security challenges during the just concluded general elections. He tells correspondent Soibi Uruwari that compensating the families affected by electoral violence will boost the confidence of citizens to participate in future elections.
We don't always look at the victims, we always look at the offenders. So we should change that narrative. We should look at the victim, compensate them, and you have to know the number of people that was even killed. The government have to compensate them and honor them. Especially the polling unit, those who ABOC staff that was killed, they have to compensate them, not have a psychoeducate the families, and they call it bereaved therapy, adopt bereaved therapy to them. Don't do that as a government. Next election will come, people don't want to do that. You don't want to risk your life. You say, even though you say national security, national service, they will not want to do that because the previous people that have died, you didn't compensate them.
Dr. Aigbe complained that the silence of the government about the killings in the state is too loud to ignore. On his part, the focal person for an election monitoring group known as Yaga Africa in Rivers State, Obina Egbogidi, called for immediate investigation of coalition and returning officers that compromised the coalition processes.
We also call for an immediate investigation and prosecution of coalition and returning officers who engaged in results manipulation and flagrant violations of the guidelines on results collation. There is need for a comprehensive and independent audit of the 2023 general elections in order to inspire and rekindle public confidence and ensure accountability for operational lapses which we observed, constitutional and electoral legal framework violations, and cases of subversion of the people's votes.
Now to court matters. The Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, is set to deliver judgment in an appeal by Governor Ademola Adeleke challenging the decision of the Osun State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, which sacked him from office. A three-man panel led by Mohammed Shaibu had reserved judgment at the last hearing after taking various arguments. Recall that a three-man panel of the Osun Tribunal had ordered Governor Adeleke's sacking, saying it did not score the majority of lawful votes during the July 16 governorship election in the state. Elsewhere, the Abia State Governor-elect Alex Oti says he will use the model of governance employed by the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi when he held office as governor between 2006 and 2014. Speaking on live television, Mr. Oti, who was declared winner, also appealed to those who collected public funds to return it, saying the resources and time required to pursue looters were not worth it. Still ahead, PHED alleges assault of staff by NSCDC officials in Port Harcourt. Stay tuned as we go for a quick commercial break.
The political leaders of Degima
Welcome back now to the rest of the newscast. A former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu, his wife Beatrice, and their doctor Obina Obeta will be sentenced on May 5. This followed their conviction for organ trafficking yesterday in the first verdict of its kind under the Modern Slavery Act. The jury says Senator Ekweremadu, his wife, and their doctor criminally conspired to bring the 21-year-old Lagos street trader to London to exploit him for his kidney. The lawmaker's daughter Sonia was however cleared by the court. The Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution (PHED) say their staff were beaten and arrested in their Rumola office by some officials of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps after they disconnected the electricity supply around Oluobasanjo axis for safety reasons. The legal officer Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution, Ephraim Ebiagi, in an interview on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire said the Corps alleged that the PHED disconnection of power at the axis led to their inability to function effectively during the March 18 election in the state.
The head of intelligence and investigation, he explained to me to say that why they've arrested our staff is because that they suspected an act of sabotage because we made it impossible for them to transmit their secret, the election secret, to their headquarters. And because of that their boss has been issued query and that we sabotage them. I do not see any nexus, any connection between PHED and the election, while PHED will now take it out upon itself, sabotage.
Mr. Ebiagi, while condemning the act by the NSCDC officials, said PHED, by law, has the sole duty to isolate supply of power at any unit if danger is detected.
For safety reasons to our network, for safety reasons to the customer itself, for safety reasons to the customers, we can isolate because of that safety reason to maintain that safety of our network. and of our greed and of our feeder, we can isolate a customer for purpose of fault. Now, if you look at another regulation known customer complaint handling standard, it's also provided a clear position of what NSCDC relationship stands with us. And I must say here clearly that NSCDC, like every other law enforcement agency, are customer to PHED. And this particular regulation also has set out a procedure on how a customer who feels aggrieved must follow to address this issue.
Meanwhile, delegates from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, met with the Nigeria Labour Congress over workers' planned protest due to the lingering cash crunch. The NLC discloses in a post on its official Facebook page. Recall that the NLC had said it would on Wednesday next week embark on a nationwide strike over the scarcity of cash in the country. The chairman of NLC River State, Alex Agwanwo, says the National Working Committee of the Congress will meet today to take a final decision on the modalities for next week's strike. In an interview with our correspondent, Mr. Agwanwo said the River State chapter will make public its modalities for the strike after the meeting, which he said will be held virtually. In the meantime, some Port Harcourt residents have expressed divergent views on the planned strike.
The call for an industrial strike by Labour is highly welcome. Some persons might think or say that it's late, but I want to say that it is never late. It's better late than never. I do not think the strike is relevant. It is going to compound to the issues we have, because at the end of the day, the strike will still be called off. But the damages caused by the strike, how do we recall that?
I am in support of Labour going for strike, because every person was waiting, thinking that after the election, the unbearable and the intolerable suffering would stop. I'm not in support of Labour going to strike because of the money crisis, because we have many problems that we're supposed to strike on. Money issue. We have hiking of a pump price. We have election malpractices and some other things.
In business, the federal government says the proposed national carrier, Nigeria Air, will begin full operations before the end of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The Minister of Aviation, Adi Sirika, made the revelation at an aviation stakeholders forum in Abuja on Thursday. He also assured airline operators that the government is working to ensure that all blocked funds are released as soon as possible. Now in entertainment, cops were called into Rihanna's house yesterday after a man showed up to ask for her hand in marriage. Security officials told TMZ that the man traveled from South Carolina, walked up to Rihanna's home where he faced as security. Police officers later concluded that the man had not broken any laws. He was asked to leave and told not to return. In sports, PSG forward Lionel Messi scored his 800th top-level goal as Argentina beat Panama 2-0 in the first match since winning the World Cup. The 35-year-old Paris Saint-Germain forward becomes the second player to reach the milestone after Cristiano Ronaldo.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
U.S. Defense Chief Lloyd Austin says the U.S. has carried out airstrikes against Iran-linked groups in eastern Syria after a drone attack killed a U.S. contractor. Defense officials said the airstrikes happened on Thursday night, hours after the drone attack, which U.S. intelligence said was of Iranian origin. 8 pro-Iran fighters were killed in the airstrikes. Iran has not commented. On the news this afternoon, you heard Governor Wike has faulted the PDP suspension of some members. President-elect Bola Tinubu has denied meeting with Chief Justice of Nigeria secretly in London. Court of Appeal is set to deliver judgment in Osun governorship dispute. PHED has alleged that its staff were assaulted by NSCDC officials in Port Harcourt. On the foreign scene, the U.S. has carried out airstrikes against Iran-linked groups in eastern Syria after a drone attack killed a U.S. contractor. The news was edited by Martha Okiri. Mostly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakuru Batabo. Thank you for listening and do stay tuned.